Torah or Parshas Yisro, page Samach Zayin. A little bit past midway in the page, first column. Okay. The Alter Rebbe asked a number of questions. The pasuk is and the B'Chodesh HaShlish in the third month. B'Yom Hazeh Bo Mid B'Sinai and B'Yom Hazeh. He said the Torah doesn't say which day it is, but the Gemara learns out that Hazeh means Rosh Chodesh. So the question is, why Taka doesn't the Torah clearly say what it is? So then he asked another question: what's the greatness of Matan Torah if there are many tzaddikim before Matan Torah? So what did Matan Torah accomplish? So he starts explaining the Aved of Avram Avinu was Holech v'Neseh Negbo. He kept going higher and higher in the Ava. He went out of Mitzrayim. When he went out of limitations, he kept going higher and higher and higher. And through meditation to create the level of love. He says the Aved of the Jew is to create the meditation. What's the meditation that creates love? So he says, Baruch Shama V'Haya Elam, one word, the whole universe became created. And as far as it is, and that's only Memala Kol Almin, and that, all that stuff to be meditating. But then he said, the last thing he says, that Shem, a name, is also only a slight ha'ara, but you call the whole person, turns to you through the name. Okay, so he says now, Achim kol zeh, about probably 15 lines in the bottom of the first column. Achim kol zeh, nevertheless, even when you meditate into all these things, ein zeh b'china ziv. It's only a ray. There's only a speech of Hashem, which is only the ray of Hashem. But Hashem himself, Ram V'Nisa, is completely exalted, infinitely greater, which is the level of Seviv Kol Almin, in the level of the encompassing level, the infinite level of Hashem, that in that level, there is no higher or lower. In the level of infinite, the highest number and the lowest number are all the same. All these differences that we spoke about, there's heaven and earth and the seven heavens and the distances and all that, that's all in the realm of the limited level of Hashem. We have higher and lower. The level of Seviv Kol Almin is even greater. There is no higher and lower because it's completely infinite. So he says, after you meditate into Memala Kol Almin and into Seviv Kol Almin, Tishbech HaNefesh Shel Chayka V'Ya Mamish. The nefesh is going to spill itself back to the Father, that it should have this longing and desire. To be mamish, bottled to only Hashem. This is what the pasuk says. Hashem tells the Jews, I am Hashem, I haven't changed. Okay? He says, and you, the children of Yaakov, leichalisim. Simply it means like this. I am Hashem who never changed, and you, the children of Yaakov, never became extinct. Okay? But he says, what does it mean? A much deeper level. Pirush HaNavi Matmal Yisrael, the Navi is wondering on the Yidden like this. If I'm such a great level of Hashem, this infinite great level of Hashem, not simply the puzzle means I am Hashem that's super great, and you guys are still here, you never, extinct. But he says, no, the question is, if ani havaya shanisi, so if so, leichalisim, why didn't you have a kleisa nefesh? Why didn't you have a longing to me? He's not saying the greatness of the Jews, that they never extinct. He says, why aren't you longing to me? So what's the answer to the question? What is what's blocking the nefesh from this level of bittul? What does it mean? Meaning, even when a person meditates into the greatness of Hashem, that I haven't changed. And not every Jew merits to the level of Avram Avinu, who was completely bottled. Like we learned, he was a Merkava, a chariot completely bottled to Hashem. Chinas Betel Mamish, so the question is, why doesn't every Jew have this bittul if they do meditation? The answer is, it's because of the weakness of the nefesh. It can't get out of its limitations. In other words, Avram Avinu left Egypt. He went out of his limitations. Therefore, the nefesh had this strong longing to Hashem in a way that he wanted to be, was bottled to Hashem. By us, it's leichalisim. We don't have this place of nefesh. We don't have the longing of the nefesh. We might think all about the greatness of Hashem and meditate deeply, but we're still stuck in Golus. Because we still come first. And it says, like the pasuk says, my power became weakened with my sins. The nefesh becomes weaker. What weakens the nefesh is bound to Hashem. Avedis, because Avedis separate you, cut us off from Hashem. It separates the Yidden and Hashem. It doesn't only mean sin. Even if you don't sin, but you're a megushim, a vergrepte mensch, meaning Gashmi is haguf v'chumriyusi, the physical of the body, the coarseness of the body. Ushenasa mosach mavdil. There would be a curtain of separation, shuameitzer ogvo, which is the boundary limitation, shemagvol u'malbish es hanefesh, that would limit and dress the nefesh, atchemerida limoshach acharel, to be drawn after it. They tell you Chassidim years ago. They said they don't want to be involved in eating and sleeping. And they did minimal. They couldn't care less about the world. And they said, because how in the world are we going to be able to understand the word of Chassidus if we're so coarse? If we're eating and drinking and into the stuff and money and all that, they said, how in the world can we, how can such a low thing understand Chassidus? So they used not torture themselves, that was against the Baal Shem Tov. But they were so uninto world, eating into, it just didn't mean anything to them because they wanted to understand the word of Chassidus. Understand and feel.
They were into the
No.
They were not.
They were not, they said. They were completely disassociated from Gashmias. And no, but he said the reason is, how do you expect that we can understand the word of Chassidus?
So what is the difference between them and the guy who goes in the mountain all day? He does the same thing. He's also going there.
Yeah, but his God is not the one we're meditating about. It's a different God.
They meditated for the God too.
Yeah, but it's a different God than what we have. I mean, not that it's a different God, but their understanding of God is way different than ours.
And they don't do anything, they just meditate. No. That's exactly what the...
No, the meditation has to bring to action.
No physicality, you said they...
No, the physical, into food, into this. They did what they had to physically, but the meditation, if it doesn't bring into action, is worthless. The Rebbe Rashab in Kuntas Yitzchaim, I think it is, says very sharp expressions about a person who learns Chassidus for the intellect of it, for the haskalah of it. Very, very sharp. He should have never been born. He this and that, because the whole purpose of the meditation and understanding of Chassidus is that it should come down into good midas and into Torah mitzvahs. So their meditation could be great meditation. First of all, again, it's a different God than we have. But also, they don't do any actions. It's total seichel. There's no midas and there's no machshava dibur ma'isa of kedusha. Tell your spouse or tell your kids that I love you so much, I'm going to meditate about you a whole day. That's where it starts and ends. See how far that gets you. And then the person will say, what do you want? I think about you a whole day. Think about your whole day. No. What does that help? So he says, and then it's impossible to go out of it because you're so sunken deeply, you need somebody else to pull you out. Okay? So he says like this. The Alter Rebbe asked a question at the beginning of the Maimer. Why did you need Matan Torah if there was tzaddikim like Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? So he explains that Avram Avinu's level was so great that he actually had his brainliness and he went out of his boundaries. But we don't go out of our boundaries. We can meditate and it doesn't go anywhere. So therefore we need Matan Torah. Therefore for us we need Matan Torah. Avram Avinu obviously didn't need Matan Torah. Right? Avram Avinu was put in the generation that they didn't need Matan Torah yet.
But he implanted Awesomeness.
Yes. Because he's Avinu. And they did great stuff. But his Aveda was only at Shadish and Ivraim, only to the highest source of creation. He didn't reach Beirei. Matan Torah reached Beirei. This is the purpose Torah was given to the Yidden. Torah nikra oiz. Torah is called strength. Hashem oiz la'ama yitin Torah. Shinesen is koyach ve'ezel nefesh ulikis. What does Torah do? What does Matan Torah do? It gives strength to the nefesh ulikis lizgaber al chumris haguf, to overcome the mundane coarseness of the body, v'nefesh habamis, v'gasusam, and its thickness, lotzis mimisker osid, to go out its locked imprisonment. V'zeu Hashem oiz lama yitin Hashem yivarech esamei v'sholim. Okay? What does the pasuk say? Hashem oiz lama yitin. Right? Hashem gave his strength, meaning Torah to the people, and he blessed us with shalom. What's the connection between oiz and shalom? So he says, Ka'idei ha'Torah shenikra oiz nasa b'shalom, Peter, b'shalom. Hashem oiz lama yitin through Torah. Hashem yivarech esamei bas shalom, beis shalom. 2 levels of shalom. Matan Torah accomplishes 2 levels. What's the 2 levels of shalom? Eis shalom, like the Medrash says, Eis shalom pamalya shalmaila pamalya shalmata. It makes peace between the higher worlds and the lower worlds. Shalom hainu. What does it mean? Shalom. Shalom also doesn't only mean peace. Shalom means shleimus, completeness. If you're only a half, you're incomplete. Shalom makes the completeness between that's what peace means. You become one with the thing you're piecing with. B'shalom b'eisavi. Well, yeah, same concept. But that Alter Rebbe says in Parshas Vayetze Torah. Now we're in B'shalach. Hainu is kash p'mayir shalmait hainu p'chinas gili orin tzav baruch hu b'nefesh u'likis. What is the peace of above? That the level of power and might of the nefesh u'likis, there's kshur u'miuchedes b'pchinas bitul mamish, that the nefesh u'likis becomes one with Hashem. That's making peace l'mayla, and pamal yishamata hainu ha'odas kechas nefesh u'likis amlu bavish beguf and nefesh abamis. So it says like this. What's the 2 levels of peace? Upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs is that the nefesh u'likis becomes a closer bond with Hashem, because as great as the neshama is, Hashem is still greater. And then Pamaya Shamata is the peace that level of the neshama influences the body and of Shabbamis. But in order for the nefesh u'likis to influence down here, you got to become stronger. If you're weak up there, you can't do anything down here. We're not talking about Gashmis up there.
So stronger down here.
The stronger the nefesh u'likis. The nefesh u'likis' power to overcome the nefesh abamis comes from that double, that's the level of Torah. So in other words, what does Torah accomplish? Normally through this Baininess, a person so coarse and grub and everything, he has no ability like Avraham Avinu to get out of his imprisonment. So Torah gives us the strength, it makes peace, it means the neshama becomes greater, and therefore down here the neshama has a stronger power to influence the nefesh habamis, to take it out of Mitzrayim. Upamai shematai nohodas keichen nefesh ulikis hamlubesh es beguf nefesh habamis shelo yiyah meinei ma'akiv mitzad haguf nefesh habamis, that the nefesh habamis and the body should not block the power of the nefesh ulikis. They should all agree and want of his of transforming darkness to evil. So you want to know that the Rebbe says why Matan Torah was given? Because Avraham Avinu was able to do it. We don't have the ability to get out of here. So Torah gives us the koyach for the nefesh ulikis to overcome the nefesh habamis. We find that it still doesn't work because we choose not to. In other words, in essence, Torah gave the person the ability to overcome all aspects.
It's a tool.
Huh?
It's a tool.
Yeah, but we can choose not to use the tool or to use it the wrong way. In other words, sometimes you might need a hammer, but instead you're using a screwdriver to screw it, the thing in, you can't. Because you have the wrong tool. So you have to know how to use the tool. Not only which tool to use, meaning which part of Torah to use, you have to know how to use it the right way. Yeah. Torah is called Eis, and it's also called Teshia. What does Teshia mean? Not only salvation, Teshia means touches. It weakens the power of the Nefesh Habamis. Nika Gamkin Teshia. Shematesh is Keach HaSitra Achel Shemitzad HaGuf. It weakens the Keach HaSitra Achel. In other words, what does Torah do? Torah is called power to the Nefesh Ulikis, and Teshia means it weakens the Nefesh Habamis in the Guf. So once this is strong and this is weaker, automatically you can win the battle. Shemitzad HaGuf Kilayim Milayim Yamas. Kshazak comes a neifel. Okay? Because when this one gets up, this one gets weaker. So the stronger Kedusha is, the weaker Klipa is. But now the Alter Rebbe says, Achlahov and Keitzedu Dao Eishel Teira Litin Kerchem Nefesh Ulikis. Now the question is like this. How does Teira do it though? Because Alter Rebbe is going to ask, Teira deals with physical objects. Teira also comes into Gashmias. If Teira comes into Gashmias, where does the Torah have the ability to strengthen the Nefesh Ulikis and weaken the Nefesh Habamis? Okay, so now the question is like this. We're saying the Nefesh Ulikis is weak because it comes into Guf and Nefesh Habamis. But Torah does too. Torah also deals with liars and thieves and Gashmias and all that. So where does the Koyach cover him? So he says, it's known, and what is the source of Torah? Earnings of Baruch Hu ba'atzmi chvedu v'yatme sevi kolam ani avayla shenisi kabos kula araisa kuchbicha kulachat. In other words, yes, Torah comes into Gashmistika things. Yes, Torah is Chochmas Shel Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's a lower level of Torah. The ultimate level of Torah is the Torah, the way they Eibishter in Torah, Raisa Kutshabicha Kulachat.
Isn't the whole idea for Torah is to come to Gashmias?
Yeah, that's what Matan Torah accomplished. But what connects and gives the Jew the koyach to strengthen the nefesh ulikis and weaken the nefesh habamis is the essence of Torah that a person brings down when they learn it. And that level of Torah is not dealing with Gashmias. That level of Torah is the essence of Hashem. Like we said, Torah has a lot of different aspects to it. Yeah, Torah is called bread. Torah is called water. Torah is called fire. Torah is called gift. Torah is called inheritance. Torah is called buying. Right? Then you have Torah is called Chochmah. Then you have the Torah the way it is, Shashuya Melech. It's the toy, Hashem's toy. Shakadosh Baruch Hu mishasheh b'itei b'chol yom. Measures Hashem plays with Torah all day.
He plays with us all day.
Now, with us he makes fun of. Plays with Torah. What does it mean he plays with Torah? Hashem doesn't sit down on the floor with a choo-choo train and call Torah and play Torah. What does it mean? It's Hashem's toy. Toy represents tainug, pleasure, enjoyment. That's much higher than seichel. In other words, what the Medrash means, there are different aspects of Torah. There's the way Torah comes into Gashmis. Then there's a Chochmah of Torah that deals in Ruchnius. Like he said, two people fighting over a talus means two neshamas fighting over a mitzvah. But that's also Chochmah Shagalish Baruch Hu. That's also the level of Chochmah. Not Gashmistic Chochmah, Ruchniistic Chochmah. But it's all Chochmah. Then you have an aspect of Torah, which is Hashem's toy. What do you mean? Tainug, you have Nefesh Neshama Chai Yechidi. You have Mides, action, Mides Seichel, Ratzon, Tainug. Tainug is Yechida. Because Tainug is one with the person. The level of Torah that the Medrash calls it Hashem playing with it means that's the level of Torah which is the essence of Hashem. That's not in Gashmistic things.
But we learn in Gashmi. We learn
That aspect of Torah. But in that aspect of Torah lies the essence of Torah. That's what gives the strength of the person.
in the lowest life.
Yep. Let's see it inside. Vine ika kabbalah satera masher kosa basera maimoris. Vayidaber alakim es kol advanim va'ela lemer. In this week's parsha, the pasuk's opening into the Sefer Dibros. It says Hashem spoke all those words lemer. Now, the l'chera milas lemer ein lo havana has no understanding at all. All the mefarshim ask this. When you have in Chumash, Vayidaber Hashem o Moshe lemer. Hashem spoke to Moshe. What does Lamar mean? Give it over to the Jews. Right? Lamar means give it over to the Jews. Here by Matan Torah, every single Nisham, every single Jew was there. Not only that generation, Pirkei Rabbi Lazar says, every Nisham of all future generations, even the Nisham of Halachic Gedim, were present in Matan Torah. So what's Lamar? Who did repeating? Everybody heard it. Repeat it to whom? He said, it's not at all similar to any lemer of Chumash. Shapirish lemer means luzulasi. Can explain lemer means to tell it over. So what does lemer mean? So he says, what does it mean? He says, Lemer means to give over the words of Torah, which was already given Lemesha Sinai. Everything was told to Moshe of Sinai. Like Beishamai says, now the Alter Rebbe is saying like this. Basically, Lemer means give over the essence of Torah. Everything was given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. Now he's just elaborating on this in passing. So if it was given to Moshe Rabbeinu, so what does it mean Beis Shammai says? What does it mean Rabbi Meir said? What does it mean Rabbi Kiva said? Hashem said it. What do you mean Rabbi Meir said it? It was given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. He says, Hanu dvar Hashem zu Allah shenem lemeshe sheyatzim mipi eisa tanu v'meir. Like it says, okay? Like it says, the words I put in your mouth. Who puts the words in our mouth? Hashem. When a person talks, It says in the pasuk, the Torah is speaking through him. It's not him. Beis Shammai is saying what Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. He's just the one revealing it. Like we said, it's late, but there's a famous Maimon Chazal. Kol mashin talmid vasik asid l'chadish kvar nitna l'Moshe Sinai. Anything that a proper student will come up in Torah, kvar nitna l'Moshe Sinai, was already given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. That's a contradiction within itself. If it's a chiddush, then how could he say it was already given? And if it was already given, how could it be something new? It was already given. So the Rebbe explains that it was already given, but it was never revealed. The chiddush of this person, that he's revealing it now in this particular time. The Rebbe said many times, every aspect in Torah has a time when it needs to be revealed. Even minhagim, the Rebbe said, we find historically certain minhagim that weren't known before, and then at a certain time, the Rabbeim or whatever it is, revealed that minhag. Why didn't they reveal it earlier? The answer is because now, before wasn't the time to reveal. That's custom. I mean, what comes to mind could be a million minhagim. The Rebbe revealed a lot of minhagim that were never known before. I'll give you an example. In Tavshin Lamed Vav, 1976, Purim, the Rebbe came out, everybody should wear a Ben Tamstvil, from Bar Mitzvah on. Yeah? When we grew up, we didn't put on tefillin, Rabbeinu Tamed Bar Mitzvah. The minig in my days was, when you reached 18, we used to go to the Rebbe every year for our birthday. At 18, you wrote in, and in your tzata you wrote, should I begin putting on Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin? And the Rebbe would say, usually the Rebbe would say, Glai Chazar, yeah, it should be done. All of a sudden, Tavshin Lamed Vav, the Rebbe said, okay, everybody from Bar Mitzvah. Why didn't he say that in Tavshin Yud? Why didn't the Friedrich Rebbe say that? Because before, they didn't have to put on Rabbeinu Tam until 18. Now, the world, for whatever reason it is, or a girl should ben shlicht, yeah? At the age of 3, yeah? Okay, the Rebbe writes, in Beis Harav they did it, in the Rebbe's houses of the Chassidim they used to do it, in the Litvisher place they did it. The reason they stopped, because they were so poor, they couldn't get oil or wax, so it was barely enough for the mothers to ben shlicht. Okay, whatever. So all of a sudden the Rebbe came out with a new campaign, girls under the age of 3 should stop benching licht, yeah? What happened until then? Why didn't it happen now to Rebbe's time, middle Rebbe's time? In the Rebbe's time, until he revealed it. Because that aspect in Torah had to be revealed then, not earlier. Okay.